This is Ryan McCombs from the band SOiL, and you are listening and watching RAMzine.co.uk. Rams, is that right?
Yeah, that's fine.
Fuck. Right here. That's what you're.
Halloween.
It is Halloween. Yeah. I hate Halloween.
Why?
Let's do it. I hate it.
Oh, I thought you would like it.
I hate it. It's my least favorite holiday.
Most rock stars like Halloween. Just in general.
I hate it.
I was going to ask, why are you dressing up tonight? But
No, I'm dressing up like a poor musician, which would be pretty much normal.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
It's very easy. I have the same outfit every night. It's wonderful.
Yeah.
No, I've just over the years I've come to hate Halloween.
Ah, see, my next question was going to be, what's your favourite Halloween memory?
Don't have one. Don't have one. They all were horrible and hellacious.
What's your worst one?
You know, to be serious, when I was a kid, I liked Halloween. So I mean, I remember seeing pictures of like me and my brother dressed up and stuff for Halloween, and so I know I enjoyed it at some point. I mean, as a kid, you get candy for goodness sake. You have to love it, but as an adult, I've just come to hate that fucking holiday. Friggin' holiday.
Is it because people won't give you sweets when you knock at their door?
No, they usually shoo me away with a broom. But no, you know, I think it's just I was in a bad relationship for like several years, and I'd be out on the road and I'd see pictures of her just dressed up in this like just a whore outfit. It just got me to really hate Halloween.
Yeah.
Which means, you know, that was X's ago, so but it stuck with me over time.
Maybe if girls these days actually embrace the scariness and dress up properly,
right, instead of just always being the slutty cheerleader or something.
Yeah,
right?
Pretty much. It's just an excuse to dress up. Anyway, I was asking our readers what should I ask Ryan from SOiL, and they wanted me to ask a question that everyone always probably asks you, and it's about, why did you leave and then you came back?
I left because the rest of the guys in the band were pricks, and no, I mean at the time it wasn't long after when I left. It wasn't long after my second son was born. So a big part of it was just feeling like it was time for me to go home and be a full-time dad and husband. I was married at the time. Because both my kids, I mean, their entire lives I've been doing this for a living.
Yeah.
So I just felt like it was time for me to go home. And the other side of it was, honestly, just band issues. I mean, we'd been together since '97. It was 2004 when I left. I almost left the band before we ever got signed to the major label that put out Scars. I actually had the truck packed and was ready to leave Chicago, and Adam talked me into doing one more demo, and that was the demo that Halo was on. But I left for the attitudes when you're young like that. Everything bugged us. We all the crap with the industry and everything we let get to us, everything that we couldn't control, and pretty soon when everything's bugging you, pretty soon the guy next to you, the way he breathes pisses you off, and that's kind of where we got to. And simply there was just some bad people within the band.
Yeah.
And people that none of us really cared to be associated with. So there was numerous reasons why I came back. Right now there's 3 original members, and I'm not just speaking for myself. I'm speaking for all 3 of us. This is really the most original members you could get in the band, and us get along. We've come a long way. We're a lot older now. We've experienced so much. We know not to worry about the crap that you can't change, you can't handle, you can't do anything about, and that really just makes life easier out here. So I mean, you just get along easier, you get along better, and we're just having fun nowadays. We're just old and enjoying the fact that we're just old and enjoying the fact that people still come out to shows and let us do what we do.
Yeah, cool. So a lot of people say that your album Whole could have been a follow-on from Scars, and what do you think? Did you set out to make it a follow-on? Not
at all. I think there were times in the lyric writing process that I kind of scared myself a little bit. I would be like, man, is this going to be received by the old school fans? And after a while, I was just like, well, wait a minute, and it is the truth. You have the main ingredients of Scars and Redefined. Adam is always the songwriter as far as music goes. Tim or somebody else may come up with a riff, but it was always Adam sitting. I lived in his garage for all those years. So that's where we also rehearsed. So I sat out there with him, after everybody else went home to watch 90210 or something. I sat there with him in the garage and pieced that music, took that riff and turned it into a song. watched him do that, and sat there with him and be like, okay, that's the chorus. I hear that should be the chorus, that should be the verse, and he would arrange things for me. And of course, I was the lyricist. So you really have the main ingredients of those first 2 albums just back together again. So I think I was worried about it, how the old school fans would receive it, but after I put that out of my head, it was just like, it came out the way it did, I think, because of who was involved.
Yeah, and it ended up running really smoothly anyway.
Oh, thank you.
Have you guys had a chance to think about what you're doing next in terms of new material?
Not at all. Not at all. There's been no talk of another record. There's been no talk of there not being another record.
Yeah.
I've been concentrating on my writing right now. I'm supposed to have a book. I'm supposed to turn it into editing when I get home, and I'm not done with it yet. So hopefully I'll get a lot of hours on the flight home here in a couple of days and make myself open the laptop and finish it up. But we're looking at an early release, early next year for that book, and then I got 2 others that I'm in the process of writing. Musically, I'd love to do another record with the guys. Whether we will or not, I don't know. Okay. I think I've just kind of go with the flow.
Yeah, so I was going to ask, maybe you'd go down the route of an EP. It just seems to be a trend that bands are trying to get music out faster and quicker, and they go with the EP option rather than an album. But
I think it's quicker and faster, and I think it's also a sign of the times.
Yeah, I feel like it's not really your style to do that, so perhaps you won't.
Yeah, I don't know how to go about what we'll do next. I mean, the industry's changed so much.
Yeah.
Nobody's, the percentage of people that are buying hard copies of an album anymore is that percentile is so small that it's becoming, visually, it's looking like the way to do things is to just release a couple songs every once in a while.
Yeah.
Because there's so much money put into the process of recording a full album, producing a full album, getting it out there, and the internet is just killing it to where maybe that's the avenue. Maybe that's what will keep bands alive. I don't know what the next step is. I don't think anybody does, or otherwise we'd all be doing it.
Yeah. What is the kind of major difference you've seen from when you were very early on your career in music to what it is now in 2014?
What's the biggest difference?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, now you got Spotify and all this stuff, and it's just absolutely killing bands. And I'm not crying about it, because I think the internet's really great in a lot of ways. There's so many social networks out there that allow us to keep in touch with the people that give us a job to do. At the same time, there was an artist that did a social network blast, and it was a female. I forget who it was. It was like Bette Midler or something like that. But she had a picture of her royalty statement, and she had something like 1 million spins on Spotify. And made like $1,000 or something like that, or less than that, I think. Basically, what it is, like, people don't understand. When you're Spotifying a song, the artist gets like 0.04 something cent on that spin. So things like that are really just. Regretfully, writing music is like building a car. If everybody's allowed to go to Chevy, Ford, whoever, and just Mercedes, just go and pick whatever car they want off the lot for free and take it home.
Yeah.
The people in there building those cars are not going to have a job very long, and that's what we've seen with music. I mean, that's why you don't see as many new bands coming out as you did back in the day. It seems like labels are going back to old codgers like ourselves that they know can sell a certain amount.
Yeah, that's true.
The industry's definitely changed wholeheartedly.
Do you agree with what Gene Simmonds recently said about rock music is dead in the industry now?
I hate to say it, but you can't argue with it. I mean, it sucks because it always seemed like rock was the one thing that always stopped. But it's not. I mean, they're talking like right now that AC/DC, when they release their album, it'll be the biggest release. They predict that it'll be the biggest sales album first week for 2014. And then the number that they shoot out after that is pitiful for what would have happened 5 years ago, 6 years ago. It's just not there anymore. The sales of hard copy albums just aren't there. And rock is definitely what it used to be king. It's now sitting at the kiddie table at Thanksgiving, because your R&B and your rap and your country music and everything is definitely at the big boy table.
Yeah. It's kind of, for me, it's when you go to a festival and you realise how many people are at Download or something, you realise rock music isn't necessarily dead, it's just the way that maybe the industry is these
being
days.
received. Yeah, it's just got to figure out a way. I hate we got a great band out with us right now called Wolfborn, and their news, like the first real legitimate tour, and they are fabulous. They musically just one of the best young bands I've heard in some time, and my heart kind of goes out to them because I see so many good bands these days that just, we luckily got into it when the industry was still good and made a name for ourselves then, so we're still able to stick around in some capacity. But I see bands like Wolfborn that are just so talented, and I hope, beyond hope, that they're able to stick around. But the industry's pretty friggin' ugly right now for rock music.
It would be really interesting to see actually what happens in 10 years' time. It's really unpredictable, so who knows? Right. It's like the big debate about who's the next Download headliner, and it always seems so unpredictable.
You don't make money selling albums anymore, and the money that you make in your guarantees to go play a show is definitely declined. And it's really, you almost just hope and keep your fingers crossed that you sell some shirts and stuff like that every night, especially a band that's, a new band, so they can just put some gas in their tank that night and get to the next city. The industry has changed wholeheartedly. I don't know what the next step is. No one does.
Yeah, hard to say. Okay, well, I guess it's kind of a bit early to talk about what you'll be doing after this in terms of gigs and when you'll be back in the UK.
We just had a meeting. That's where I came from, is a meeting about this whole thing, and there's several things on the table.
Yeah.
We're looking at releasing the third single from this album later this year or the beginning of next, depending on when the right time with all the radio crap and all that stuff goes. So we know we're doing that, and we know we'll be on the road pushing that single.
Do you think you'll be at any festivals next summer?
We know that we have a hard offer on the table.